Hello, my little burritos. Welcome, welcome. I need to add some leaves to this before I get started. And if you're watching this, you're probably wondering what happened to the poem, because I usually showcase both, but when I very first started writing, I wrote like 100 poems, maybe like 80, before I started recording myself writing, because I just didn't think that was something that anyone would ever really be interested in. So I have quite a backlog of work for which I have no video of me writing, and this is just one of them. It's just how it is, my friends. I started writing before AI was a thing, and it never occurred to me that I might have to argue that a robot didn't write this fart poem. Plus her fingers are weird. What are we doing here? Do we have enough fingers? They're wonky though, aren't they? I have absolutely drawn like the Simpsons hands before, where they don't have, where they just don't have enough fingers to go around. So sometimes when I'm trying, I have to check and make sure. Okay, so I need to draw some watermelon leaves. First I gotta give her a nose before she can have anything growing out of it. And then how long do we want this to be? Like, do we just want a leaf? Or do we want like a swoopy vine and then a swoopy vine here? I had to look up what the shape of a watermelon leaf because I didn't know what they were. Do you want it to look like a little devil tail? Oh, I kind of do. It looks like I don't know if they're the kind of plants that grow in pairs or if they stagger leaves anyway. Googling watermelon vines. Show me watermelon leaves. They look like they are not paired. Okay. Oh, but they're not paired, but they do seem to grow like in a, not like a, like there'll be like a thin vine and then like a bunch of stuff coming out of one. And it looks like they don't do this, do they? Too bad, I liked that leaf. Okay, I know I'm doing like I know I'm doing like a full-on sketch here, but I still want this to be kind of like, I just said they don't do that. What is wrong with me? Just Googling. Okay. Hmm. Trying to find out what the tip of a watermelon shoot looks like. It just keeps showing me watermelon fruit. That's not helpful, guys. It's a guide on how to tell if a watermelon is ripe. How about we do that? Just a little one coming out of her nose. All right, I'm excited to paint those leaves, but also the watermelon. Okay, let's think. Our watermelon's gonna be red, the vines are gonna be green. Pants are gonna be blue because she's wearing blue jeans. So what color should her shirt be? Shouldn't be red or green. Yellow? Yellow shirt. move the laptop away from the water. Okay, so we're gonna go yellow shirt, I guess. Did I still not fix her hand? I fixed her hand, I just didn't erase the bad one. Okay. Mixing up some skin tone with some, I should say Caucasian skin tone with some, oh, that's pink. Woof, our girl is sunburned with that complexion. Buff titanium, yellow ochre, and way too much quinacridone rose. It is summertime for this little one. All right. Oh, I love cold press paper. The last couple paintings I've done, I've used hot pressed paper for just various boring reasons, and I do not like hot pressed paper. I will say one nice thing about hot pressed paper, it very much encourages you to just lay down the paint and walk away. Like, you don't have the flexibility with hot pressed paper to go back and fix anything, and with cold pressed paper you do sometimes feel like you have that flexibility, and you know what, sometimes you do, but definitely with hot pressed paper you do not. You get one pass and that's it, which is not necessarily why I hate it. It's just, I mean, it is why I hate it. It's not that I am making so many mistakes, I want to go back and fix it, but like, I guess hot press paper always looks like it's worked too much, and now you could argue that maybe it looks like it works too much because you work it too much. Maybe that might be it, my friends. Now, before we paint those leaves, we are going to make sure that little face is bone dry. We're not going to mess with anything until it is dry. I am saying this more to myself than to you. It must be dry. Also, it's really humid where I'm at today, so I might have to take some breaks and let this dry in stages. And I'm definitely leaving that watermelon and the leaves for last because I'm super excited to paint them. Okay. I know we said yellow, and we're all thinking like, you know, primary yellow. I'm just looking at my color chart to see what yellow we want to make. Let's go, this is not gonna matter. Actually, let's try, what color is this? Quinacridone Orange Oxide? Transparent. Nope. Quinacridone Burnt Orange, that's what color it is. Quinacridone Burnt Orange. It's a new color for me. And some buff titanium. It's not gonna be a true yellow. It's a very weird peachy color. I think I'm okay with that. I don't know, am I okay with it? Who amongst us is second guessing this choice? Oh, I already got a little bleeding right there on the arm. Whose fault is that? Mine. Maybe we can give this, can we give this a yellow glaze and see what happens? Yellow it up. Gonna do a little Mayan blue plus Prussian. I think I get into the habit of like, I mean, I'm not painting from life, so if I'm painting from life, I do a pretty good job of color matching, but I think I get into this habit of like, you know, I always make denim Mayan dark blue, and I don't want to do that, so mixing it up a little bit today. I know I've added Prussian blue to it. I'm wild. I know, you're all thinking you did not let that dry before you... I know, and now we can't stop, because if we stop, we'll have a very weird line. So all we can do is move ahead and say, oh, I know, we got a little bleed right there. I'm gonna call it a bloom, not a bleed. And then just be like, that's the beauty of watercolor. Don't want to bloom? Paint with acrylics. That's all I can tell you. And that little leg is dry, so we should be okay there. I'm saying like she's here. Oh, that little leg. Look at that little leg. Side note, a friend of mine just had a baby. So cute. I love when babies have those like little Michelin Man arms. or legs, either way. They're just adorable. And I think that part of the shirt is dry enough that we shouldn't have any trouble there. A little bit more pigment to even that out. Should be good. Oh, brother. All right. We're gonna do very light orange wash on her hair, and then come back when it's dry. Again, that's for me, not you. And give her brown hair. Okay, I know everything looks like a little bit of a hot mess right now, but we're gonna let this dry. We're gonna come back in. We're gonna make her hair brown. That shirt's not gonna look so bad. It's gonna dry. We're gonna add some shading. Oh, I forgot her little pigtails. Oh my goodness. Forgot her little pigtails. Okay, now we're gonna let it dry. I'm gonna come back in and fix her hair. We're gonna make that watermelon sing, I promise you. We're gonna give her face some leaves, all that good stuff. Hello, my little burritos. Welcome, welcome back. Things are dry. Okay. In the effort of a harmonious palette, we're going to use that same blue from her pants for her hair. I hope that every artist of every medium loves their medium as much as I love watercolors. I mean, maybe someday I'll, you know, I kind of get the joy of oils. I don't get the joy of acrylics. I'm sorry, friends. I still love you. You're more talented than me. I just don't get it. You're more talented than I am. I just don't get it. But yeah, I just love watercolors so much. I hope all you other artists watching this, I hope you love yours as much as I love watercolors. They're just delightful. Okay. That is darker than I meant for it to be still. I have watered that down quite a little bit. That is still very blue. Okay, I'm not sure how much more I can water it down and still keep calling it blue. Well, I have been known to reglaze a glaze in my time. I don't like it, but I have done it. Man, even with all that water, it's still just too blue, isn't it? It's all right. We'll fix it in the end. I should have known better. Prussian blue is really assertive. All right. Oops. No. We're gonna pretend we're just layering. I'm just layering there, guys. I don't know what you were thinking. Clearly, it wasn't a mistake. Okay, that was a mistake, but that's why you keep a paper towel around all the time. Okay, we'll let that tongue dry while we reassess this hair situation, which actually, now that it's drying, isn't the worst thing I've ever done. Still a little too blue. I'm telling you, I think it's that Prussian blue. That's okay. We're gonna just give it a little. All right, now I was just thinking about the rest of the painting. I actually studied photography in art school, and I mean, in addition to, you know, other mediums, but one thing that I really loved, and of course everything is like digital now and very different, but I really loved Ansel Adams' work, which is of course in no way is that a hot take. But he followed what he called the zone system, and he suggests that every picture that you take should have a pure white and a pure black. I always have a pure white, of course, but I do want to include some pure black in here, which could just be her eyes. But I was thinking while I was painting this, like, how dark do we want our hair to go? And I think I'm okay with it not being super dark. I have super dark hair. I think I tend to paint super dark hair. And I always want to give a shout out to as many little burritos as we can, either by painting somebody who's a different ethnicity or hair color. I don't think I've painted a redhead yet, so we got to get that on the books. But I also want to make sure that my light brunette sisters get their shout out too. Light brunette haired? Lighter brunette haired? I don't know. Okay. I'm liking that shirt better. I like it better than a traditional primary yellow. That was a good call. Can we do hazel eyes? I don't think we can do hazel eyes. Can we? Oh, that neutral tint is just so... When I tell you that you need like a swipe, I mean like just breathe on it, like you don't need it. It's just the tiniest little bit, because it will take over. Okay, whenever I draw eyes, whenever I paint eyes, I'm always like, this part's the pupil, this part's the iris. We're gonna have to make those much darker. I don't want it to match your hair. So I have two blacks in my palette. One is a neutral tint, which is like your black. I don't use it that often. The other one is this black that I mix myself. I call it Witch's Silk, and it is still black. It just has a little teensy bit of personality to it. Oops. Just gonna let that dry and come back to it. All right, I think we're gonna take another dry break. Hello, my little burritos. Welcome, welcome. Went a little too dark. Okay. What is going on with me in that other ear? It's like the most mundane part of the picture and I cannot get it right. All right, gonna let it dry again, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna do some overall shading. I'm gonna do the watermelon and the leaves, which does look like a little devil's tail. I think I like her hair. All right, let's shade it up. I love the shading. It is basically my favorite part of the painting. Oops. Not what we're looking for there. Okay. Okay, I think it's time to do the lemon rind. So I'm going to try to do sorry, definitely very long pause there. I don't know what the technique is called. Splotchy. Call it splotchy. You know what? We're gonna stick with the same blue. Change up the yellows. So I went with a Mayan dark blue because I love it. I still keep quinacridone gold in my palette. Please don't tell anyone. Technically, I was supposed to get rid of it for the quinacridone burnt orange, but I could not. I literally could not get rid of it, even though I can mix it with the quinacridone orange and Hansa Yellow Medium. I love it so much that I just kept it in my palette, and it's on the blues side now in case I need a green. And I love it. I'm just mixing up some greens here for that watermelon rind. Oops. I don't like using pre-mixed greens, despite the fact that I have green apatite and Perylene green. But those are, I always mix, I never use them straight. Well, that's not true. I've used that green apatite straight a few times. Okay. I also need a paper towel because somebody is making mistakes left and right on here. All right, we don't actually have a lot of room for that rind, but I'm just going to come in here. I'm gonna use a couple different colors, a couple different paintbrushes anyway. Oops. Is that not fun? We're gonna do the same thing with the fruit. Okay. I'm looking at my color chart. We definitely need an opera pink and a pyrrole scarlet. Like, we need that. Pyrrole scarlet. Opera pink. Tell you that opera pink, it is a fun mixing color for sure. I did not think. I bought it like years ago and I don't know what I thought I was going to use it for, but as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh no, that's that's not good. Yeah, that's exactly what we need. In fact, let's give ourselves a little bit more. Anyway, I changed up my palette not that long ago, actually, maybe a month. And I put in opera pink as a trial just to see like how often I used it and how much it mixed or how well it mixed and stuff like that. And I tell you what, I think it's a keeper. All right, opera pink, pyrrole scarlet. I'm also gonna go quinacridone rose, and opera pink. And let's go pyrrole red and pyrrole scarlet. And do I need a fourth color? Let's go, oh boy, Potter's Pink and Pyrrole Scarlet. That's an interesting one. Potter's Pink is also a color that you keep in your palette for mixing. You don't really, I don't think anyone's out there painting with straight Potter's Pink. Although now that I've said that, I'm gonna get like tagged in a bunch of stuff. That's okay. Oh, I still get to do those leaves. And I don't know how we're gonna do that, but. All right, same idea. We're gonna have two brushes. We're gonna do these two colors with this brush and those two colors with that brush so that they're not, I mean, there's definitely gonna be some mixing, but, and let's see if I can do this left-handed, as I am not a left, no, sorry, lefties. I'm gonna come back in later and do the seeds. Okay, I know we're putting a lot of detail into that, but I think it's fun. I think we'll do a little light green. It's a big white spot I gave it. Let's do a very, what am I doing here? A very, very lime green edge on there. I don't like your skin tone. For all the fuss I made about putting in too much quinacridone rose, I feel like your skin tone is very bland. I mixed up something. It's a little bit rosier than what she's got. I'm just gonna go over it all. That's a little better. All right. I think our watermelon's dry. We can go in and do the seeds. I kind of want to do the same thing with the seeds. So let's mix up, stick with that Mayan dark blue. And let's try this transparent red oxide. Yeah, now that I've started glazing my browns, I'm always kind of a snob now when I mix them, like, oh, that's what it looks like. I'm just gonna let that dry and then add in the black. Okay. I I'm tempted to, actually, I think I am going to go around her pupils with a black pen to make sure that we get that nice crisp line we're looking for. I'm sure a better artist could have done that by hand, but you're watching me do it, so this is how I'm doing it. I also think it's so funny how like it doesn't, like, she doesn't look like a real, like it doesn't look real. And now we're gonna add in the black for her pupils, so it's gonna make a huge difference. All right, we're gonna use my neutral tint because it's the closest we're gonna get to a zone 5 / darkest black we got. I think I'll do a very, very light gray wash for her eyeballs. But in the meantime, let's talk about those leaves. Okay, let's do a super lime green with that same blue so we can have that harmonious palette. And good old Hansa Yellow Medium. That's going to be our light green. And again with the Mayan dark blue again for the complementary palette. And I want something dark. I think I'm going to go Nude Gamboge, even though I do love Quinacridone Gold. Is just such a beautiful color. But this is going to give us more of like a, almost like an army green, I think. Shout out to the army. High school coach, I have a bunch of kids in the army. Or I guess if they're in the army, I can't call them kids anymore. Okay. I need that to be a little bit more blue. And as long as we're pushing things, let's go a little bit more yellow. There we go. Okay. Still, those seeds are not dry. Let's throw some witch's silk in there anyway, yeah? Okay. don't know. On the leaves, really need to do them. Still don't know what I want to do. Oh, look who's here to help me. Hey, buddy. I think I just mixed up my brushes. Oh well.